Then let me hit this. Um, did this last week. Let's come on, live stream. What should I say? Okay, check out.
Oh, so you just going live on your computer right now?
One sec, yeah, one sec. Who else can see this? Okay, got public. Okay, public. Okay, Zoom.
Asia, I just stepped into a Zoom meeting myself. What's it called? I'm gonna call you after we're done, or I'm gonna shoot you a text message. Okay. Okay. You rolling?
Yeah, well, I think let me go to my Facebook page, and if you guys want to share it on yours.
I did.
No, I just went live. We're live right now on Facebook.
Okay, actually, let me
I
see.
don't know if you guys want to go to my page and then hit share.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here
Want to go to my page and then hit share.
Yeah, I just shared it. I think I did it right. I'm not a.
Okay, I could go. Let me go back to my Zoom. All right, let me go to your page. I know everybody's watching us on Facebook. What's up, everyone? Let's see. Let me go to your page. Let me see.
Did I do it right?
Yep, yep, yep. We're live on your page too. So.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
All right, you guys. It's Tuesday, y'all. So it's Real Estate Tuesday. I like to bring you guys, stuff about real estate on Tuesdays, and Thursdays is about music. So today, let me tell y'all, the first time I met this dude, y'all knew I was in the music industry. I had the local music video show. So whenever I see somebody with a camera and stuff, I was like, man, what they got going on, Then, I stopped and I talked to him and everything. He was with another realtor, and found out that he was a loan officer and was actually with a company that, I'm very familiar with. And then I was at my Galentine's event, and then this lady walked in and everything, and I didn't know who she was, and I was talking to my girl Candace and stuff, and I was like, well, who is that? And then she introduced us, and I found out that was his wife. So, and she's with my boy, who I was in the music industry with, Roy Machado. He used to own a record store on for Broadway. So me and Roy go way back, and she's with my girl also, Serena. So now, just because they're real estate agents and loan officers, that don't mean I'm not supposed to support them, first of all. You got some agents be like, well, why are you interviewing another real estate agent? Why are you interviewing a loan officer? You know what? We got to support each other. And when I see a power couple, I want to support. So welcome, you guys. I got Daniel and Erika Robertson.
Thank you for that. Very, very, yeah, very, man, that intro was dope. Yeah, I remember meeting you that day. I was with Keelan, shooting some content, and I didn't know who you were, you didn't know who I was, but I think God works how he works, and nothing's by accident.
You right about that, most definitely. And then I got to meet your queen and everything and stuff. Found out that was your queen. I was like, oh yeah, I know him. So let me ask you. So who got into the business first?
I did actually.
You did? I thought it was gonna be him.
Before I was a realtor, I was a property manager for like 5 years. And I really liked it. So I went in for my real estate license when I was pregnant with our oldest. And then I passed the test on the first try.
Oh, you did? I don't
like 7 months pregnant.
I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't even use it. I didn't even register it or anything for months, almost a year later. So I just passed the test and that was it. And then I did like the paying into a brokerage and all that the next year. So it wasn't even upfront.
Oh, what? Were you always with All City?
No, so I started with a really small boutique brokerage,
You probably know her.
ran by Victoria, I believe it's called what's called Estan Realty.
What is it?
Estan, Estan.
Oh, I don't.
Estan Realty. It's based out of like the Land Park area. It's a I wouldn't even really say brokerage, really. It is a broker who started her own under
Oh,
her
okay.
name. And she didn't have enough time to work with me or to mentor me. So I was like, this is great, but I'm gonna just like do it moving. And then I went to the bigger brokerages. I did Keller Williams for a little while. I learned a lot with Keller because they're like the brokerage with all the courses. So
Yeah.
I learned a lot. I did my first 3 transactions through them. And then I went with a team. I'll open story about that. And then I went with Serena. So
Oh, okay.
a little bit of time.
Did Serena bring you over to All City?
Yeah. So
Okay.
actually I went to school with Serena's children. Daniel and I both went to school with her children because we've been together since 10th grade. But
You telling me and Serena's age, girl. Okay.
oh don't say that.
Serena's probably, she gonna be laughing. Oh my goodness. But that's good though. So so then how did Daniel get into it?
So I was in school for no, I was graduated by the time you were pregnant with Xavion. And I remember taking her up to her test to take her test, but I had just got done playing baseball in college, graduated with a degree in multimedia communications, Academy of Art, and yeah, I graduated from there and started a media business. So I was doing a ton of business with real estate agents. I had a couple contracts with some wineries, and so I got out of college, hit the ground running, started my own business. Helped a lot of the small entrepreneurs in Sacramento start their businesses and get online. And I was actually doing some videos for Chris Saison, and Chris.
Oh yeah.
So I think it was 2019, 2020.
So
And
you said videos, what were you actually doing?
yeah, so I would go out, and it wasn't just videos, it was a full multimedia platform, setting up their social media, setting up their websites. I had a team that I worked with, a web developer, another marketer who I went to high school with, and we graduated, got the same degrees, and went into business together. We had a full-fledged marketing company, so we're helping businesses get off the ground, and I specialize in the video. And so I would help them kind of, consult with them what they needed. Hey, you need this video, you need these ads running. I was doing a lot of stuff for Movement Mortgage. I was their like go-to videographer, Keith Collins, big shout out to him. But yeah, so one day, I'll never forget it. It was a Chris Saison paid me to go film him ride his bike with Dino Rossetti. I don't know if you know Dino Rossetti. But he's our business development coach at Golden Bay. But anyway, Chris invited me to go to Tahoe with him and film him ride his bike around Tahoe for 72 miles, right? And he paid me like $2,000. And I was like, dude, what are you doing to where you're paying me $2,000 to just because it's my boy, you know what I'm saying? I talk to him like it's my boy. But he's also a mentor to me, and he puts me on a whole bunch of great opportunities. Anyway, he asked me, or I asked him like, hey, what do you do? And he showed me a couple of his commission checks. I'm like, I'm in the wrong business. But my dad and my uncle, big time real estate investors, they just kept me in sports and school because it's always time to go into the family business. But Chris introduced me to Dino, who is my now business development coach for Golden Bay. He works internally with us. But he introduced me to Renee, and this was October of 2020. Renee and Cam, I still got the picture too. Me and Udiel, you know Udiel.
Mhm.
It was our first day, and we started the same day, and now we share our office together.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, we got also full circle moment. But I've been in the industry since 2020. I started my first year and a half as a loan processor, and then I was on Team Renee and Team Golden Bay, just processing loans. So I got to touch over, I want to say, I was 200 files during that time that I got to work there because it was during COVID.
Mhm.
And he let me get my license, study for my license while I was processing. So I get in the office 6 a.m., wouldn't get home till like 9, just to study, do all my loans.
She's
And,
it's like,
and
yeah.
yeah, I was still doing video too.
My
Yeah,
goodness.
I was just doing, just wanted to, do something bigger. So, yeah, we did that, and it's been a wrap ever since.
Oh,
So
wow,
still
wow.
with Golden Bay too.
Yeah, and that's the only one you've been with is Golden Bay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Because shout out to Golden Bay Mortgage and stuff.
Yeah.
Now being you guys, so you guys are both, you're the loan officer, you're the realtor, right? Do you got Erica, do you work with other loan officers? And Daniel, do you work with other realtors?
Yes,
Yeah.
so, a little while, when our youngest child was born, he had like some medical stuff, or like some really serious medical stuff. So I actually just stepped back and was full-time mom for like a little over a year and a half, 2 years.
How's he doing now?
He totally, I wish you could see him, he's over there playing his video game, clean bill of health. But his formidable, like between 1 and 2, like that was a really scary time for us with him. So I stepped back. So when Daniel was getting his start in the industry, I actually was not producing at the time at all because I was just doing full time. Mom, our son, like I said, he never got like with a daycare with someone else besides me or anything in that time period, as he was so sick. So Daniel had to start his business with prospecting with other agents beside myself, because I wasn't even producing at that time.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah, I
okay.
just want to, I think it's important to work with other agents, and because I think in this business, uh number one, I think that there's collaboration at the top. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are collaborating at the top. And this is my lead, your lead, you know what I'm saying? I think at the top is always collaboration. And what I've been taught, with the guys at Golden Bay and, Joe and Renee, Cam, all my mentors, it's, you know, I think, well, for us, and what we've been taught, it's, having more than one referral partner on the lending side is kind of needed, right? Like, you guys really don't. I mean, you could have multiple lenders, right? But let's be real. If you had one dope lender that could do a lot of things, right, you wouldn't really need that. Plus, y'all get paid more than us. You know what I'm saying? So I need more deals going on at different times with different agents. And I don't even ever have an issue working with other agents, and she's working with other lenders, as long as it's adding to our business and it's not taken away. Um, for example, I wouldn't send, you know, a lead to somebody else that I know Erica can handle, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And for me, I like to send my leads to who's going to be the best fit, right? That's another thing that I learned, because, not everybody's going to work well together. And I'd rather see someone who's going to get the proper service. Not saying that Erica wouldn't service them properly.
Mhm.
Just different attitudes, different, working styles, different, that all plays into, who we send our leads to. But she got a ton of leads. We closed one last month together that I sent her. We got one in the contract right now that we just got together. So, it's always collaboration, and we never think of it as like, oh, you're working with this other lender, or you're working with this other realtor. I don't like that. But, as long as it's adding to the business.
Yeah. Now I'm glad you said that because that's the way I do. I try to match, personalities. And then some lenders have a program that you may not have, you know, what
Exactly.
I mean? Like, like the buy before you sell, I just did, and stuff that most lenders do not have that.
Yeah.
But matching personalities is just so, so important. My goodness, and the client appreciates us for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then that's what I was gonna add to that. I think, me sending Erica lead and wanting to get that money, right? Even though I know it might not work out personality wise, and let's just say they do get to the end,
Hmm.
it couldn't have been a good experience for either one of them, right? And
Right.
now that's gonna hurt the business in the long run. That person's not gonna refer me any business because they didn't get along with the lead or the agent,
Hmm.
right? And so one thing that I send them over, I say, hey, if you don't like this person, I got a list full of realtors that we can go ahead and
That's
interview. You know
good.
what I'm
That's
saying?
good. Yeah.
And I
Because I
think
always said that, like, I feel like I used to be like this. I was going to keep it real with you. I was like, I just felt like you're going to take care of your household before, take care. Because so many times we send like leads to loan officers and then, there's no reciprocal. And, when they're married to a realtor, we know what they're going to, usually most of them's going to take care of that household. They're not going to think like you. You're
Yeah.
really like the first one I've heard that said what I believe in, like matching personalities and stuff. And that's good for you, you guys out there in Facebook land. When you guys pick a lender, listen to what he said. You want to pick one that comes from the heart because what Daniel's talking about is coming from the heart. Because, like he said, he could give it to his wife and keep it in house, but he thinks about the emotions and the right fit and stuff. So that's very, very important. I'm sorry, Erica, go ahead.
no worries. Also, his background in like marketing and just both of our background with, I guess, networking has made it a little bit easier too, because for the most part, we kind of do like we'll sit down and really talk about like each lead, and if he's like, okay, I think you can handle this, this person will work for you, okay. And then he will call other agents for other leads, but also too on my end, selecting a lender. And what Daniel does too is we're kind of intentional about building the other relationships outside of like my loan partner relationships outside of Daniel, right? So we kind of both just curate things, ways to get leads with our partners, our respective partners. Mine would be a lender, his would be a realtor. And Daniel's really good about, again, curating events, things like that, or even like the speaking engagements, the first time home buyer courses, just things that would generate leads
Yeah.
for the buyer, I mean, for the lender and realtor partnership, rather than like taking it. If he did have one for me, he still is able to generate leads with whomever he's working with just by whatever they do together, how that's marketed, how that's promoted. And then I do the same on my end too. Like I have a few events coming up soon that are with other lenders, but that's how we curate leads together. And then whatever lead situation comes up off of that,
Mhm.
that is to be worked between myself and my partner, Daniel, and his partner at
Yeah.
that point. So we got a couple ways to work it out, but
Yeah, and trust is so important in this business. Trust is like very, very important. And that's why I'm glad that you guys are saying this out here. So, for people that, have thought about working with you, but then thought like I thought, now they know, you know what I mean? No, no, we don't do that.
Wait.
How we work.
Before we go on, look how small this world is. So we have flag football, right? With a couple of your clients that we just found out because we always trying to sell all the time, right? And
Who's
so
my clients that got flag football?
Andre and he got a
Marisol.
Marisol.
Oh, Andre Marisol. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're our son's teammate.
Oh, really?
And
Yeah.
so we were
Oh
just
my
talking
God.
real estate. We're talking real estate, right? And this goes to show that you're a good agent, right?
Mhm.
So we're going talking, blah blah blah, and they're giving us information. I'm doing my whole pitch, right? I'm trying to reel them in, get them in the door, right? Just naturally, right? Just having a natural conversation. And I go, hey, who's your agent? They go, Alita, and I would say, get out of here, right? And they go, and I go, yeah, how was she? She's like, oh, she was awesome. She even still follows up with us from time to time and we love it. So no, you're doing good work too.
Let me tell you that story. I don't know if they told you the story.
No, they didn't.
Oh my God. So there was the house that they're still living in right now, right? I remember we got into contract, right? The agent had on there, it was it could go FHA, right?
Uh-huh.
So we got in a contract, but I know how those agents work. I knew the agents, right? I was like, you know what? Let me go to the tax records. That thing was at 90 days since they owned it. And
Oh,
I
90-day
called the
flip.
agent and I was like, hey, he goes, I know, Lita. He goes, man, we gotta, back out. We gotta cancel it. So, oh my gosh, she cried. She cried. Marisol cried. And I was like, well, we just gotta find another house. She was like, I really want that house. I think we had like a month left. Do you know that house sat on that market? I
Look
said,
at
girl, I don't know what you done did.
yeah.
I was like, I cannot believe this house is still on the market. And, you know, and they're still living in the house. It was
Man,
just crazy.
that's
I
what's
was
up.
like, because, you guys, okay, let me explain to everybody. So if investors, they buy homes and they fix it up. Well, the homes cannot go FHA if the investor has not owned it 91 days. Okay. We cannot write an offer on it until the 91st day. So with that situation, it wasn't 90 days and we was in contract. So we had to back out because they could only go FHA. So that's, what happened. But I just could not believe. I said, girl, what did you do to, she still to make the house still stay, you know what I mean? And they're able, to get it still. It
You
was
know, they talk about it. I think they have, football parties over there. They were talking about it.
I called the house on they ready to upgrade because that
Right?
was a kid, but
Come on now. Yeah.
she still loved that house. She still loved that house. So yeah, that's just
I
crazy.
just had to get that out before I forgot because I seen you last time and I remembered after I seen you. So yeah.
Oh, but that's good. Well, I know
Uh-huh.
if they want to refi, they can talk to you.
Hey, come on now, come on. It's
Yeah,
all good.
they let them refi and stuff. So, but
Mhm.
not it's not a good time to refi. I know they probably got still good rate.
Yeah, when they buy like 21, I heard 21.
Yeah,
15, they bought.
Or it was before that, probably.
yeah, they've been in there about 7 years. Man, time goes by so fast.
Man, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Go by so that so you guys have how many kids?
Two.
Two.
Two kids. So how do you guys balance doing real estate and family life? And do you guys go on vacations? And how are you guys balancing all this?
Renee told me first day I walked into his office, how organized you are is directly correlated with your paycheck. So I took that and everything in my life is on a calendar. We try our best. It don't always pan out, but I mean, like for the most part, we have an idea of our week before it even happens. All right, so we sit down and just plan everything out. We have our non-negotiables like the kids' sports. So Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, baseball and
Well,
football.
let me ask you, at the sports game, how do you guys let people know that you guys are in the real estate business?
Make friends first. I would never say it on the first game to anyone. But I make it a way. I make it to where people have to ask me, and what do you do? So with the, I don't know if they're watching Andre and Marisol, I'm gonna tell you my secret right now. I just befriended them. I really liked who they were as people first, and I'm just using them as an example.
Mhm.
Then I think like maybe the fourth or fifth game, we just got into like, oh, it's really rainy out here. And then she said something about working from home, I believe. And then I'm like, oh, where do you work? And she's like, I work for the county. I'm like, well, that's a good job, girl. They're laying off all the federal workers. And it was like that week where all the 3,000, something thousand people got laid off. And we started chuckling about that. And then I was like, yeah, like it seems like the city and county and state jobs are a little bit more official than the federal stuff, going on. That's great. Like, I really love that for you. I was like, yeah, my job's pretty flexible too. And I left it at that. To which her response is always, oh, what do you do? So I always try to make someone ask me versus being super salesy and in their faces and that type of thing. So
You know what I tell people? There's a website, there's a couple, three. Like on my coaching, because I coach agents, I have them go, like I have a 13-week syllabus, right? the first week I ask them, what does your voicemail say? You know, and number two, I have them go to Zazzle, ZAZZLE.com, and I have them go to Etsy and allthingsrealestate.com, right? Now, I never wear a company shirt. I tell people, do not wear a company. Nobody knows what the who in the hell Keller Williams and Realty One is. I got shirts. If I know I'm going to the mall, if I know I'm going to be around a lot of people, I have shirts with big letters that says, I'm a realtor, ask me for my card, or this lady sells real estate, or real estate is my hustle. Because people are nosy, right? They're going to look at your shirt. I was in Rayleigh's one time, and this man walked past me. I forgot I had the shirt on. He was like, can I have your card? And I go, what? It was because those big letters on my shirt and stuff. So, so if I've, if my kids are young, I would have wear them shirts. And then sometimes water bottles, like, lenders or real estate agents, they put the little labels on, and stuff like that. So where you don't really have to say anything, but, your shirt would say it all, or the water bottle would, and that would spark up a conversation too.
Yeah.
But them shirts,
About
never
doing
mind
just
company
that
shirt.
for our kids. They're going to go get. So we actually talked about doing just the water bottle idea for our kids' games and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. But try them shirts, those websites and stuff. Yeah, I never wear company shirt. I wear them big letters. I just saw in Etsy, I just got one that says realtor. Yeah, I'm that realtor.
Some funny sayings.
Yeah, people
Right.
and they're big, big letters, and people look, just like when your car drives past, you're gonna look, it's like, what does that say?
Mhm.
And everything. So that's just, just a little, advice, so you don't have to, approach. They're gonna ask you because the shirt. In fact, one more story. I was in Winco, and thank God I didn't say anything. This older man was holding up the line. I just was like, if this man don't hurry up, right? So then I had to walk past him, and he looked at me, he goes, oh, you a realtor? I need to sell my house, because I had this shirt, this lady sells real estate. So then I started holding up the line. We both holding up the line at Winco. I got his information, it's the,
Nothing wrong with that.
yeah, so, but yeah, so anyhow, yeah, so you guys write down everything.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah. And you guys have a day you take off?
Uh,
Not designated.
yeah, no, we haven't sat down and been like, let's take this day. I mean, we did just come back from New Orleans, and when did we go to New Orleans? Oh shit, that was for this past summer. So we try to take trips. Oh, we just took him to Disneyland. October.
Yeah, October.
October.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll make some time to do something.
Okay.
Yeah,
But also too, like, we do kind of have some no kids.
no.
We kind of have like roles that are,
No.
if you will, like some of them are kind of stuck, right? So more often than not, I'm the one picking the kids up from school and dropping them off at school. That's just a role I accepted. And then Daniel he's more hands-on with the training for the sports. So when they're out of school, he takes them to do extra training. What, man? What kind of snack?
Look at that hair.
It's insane. It's to his waist. These braids don't do it justice. I'm
My
serious.
goodness. Oh, that hair. I want some of that hair.
The other one got just as long, but we dreaded his. He's the third grade member in the family.
Okay.
This one doesn't want them.
We need to though. I want to plan another just time to be off, because I also work for the state too.
Yeah.
So I actually just started a new position in October, a housing representative too.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, my experience with lending got me in the door. So
Oh.
I actually met a lot of ex-lenders and people who are not in the industry anymore. But I'm blessed because I'm working 3 days from home right now.
Mhm.
And so I'm able to, be organized enough to still meet my goals with real estate. Also allow, Erica time to, not really have to work as hard outside of just real estate. And so there's some sacrifice for sure.
Yeah, so together, like I said, that's where the give
Yeah.
and take. He's doing his 9 to 5 in addition to loan. So I'm taking the brunt of being taxi for the kids, getting the appointments done. We just kind of have some of the roles are a little bit more like set in stone. I'm doing wake up and night routine, but on the weekends when it's time for sports, dad's out there. I'm not gonna train them, he's gonna train them. So we kind of got our little roles that we stick to. I get dinner, he gets dinner when he's grilling and stuff.
I throw down.
But for the most part, that's my thing. I'm the one that does like, lessons. So yeah, we kind of have our things that are set in stone that work for our family.
Okay, so Daniel, so besides, I know you do the media, do you do it outside of real estate if people want some? Well, first of all, you do photography, right? Do you do headshots for realtors? Let's go ahead and put that out there. No? Okay, he does not do headshots, so do not.
I do not want to take on another money, I don't want to be chasing 8 pigs.
Okay, so for realtors, what
have a team.
I
have a team for that. We have a team for that.
But I will say,
Okay.
I will say, if I want to work with you, I will. I'll provide. So I meant to actually add that to what you said earlier about leads and sending leads. And I don't think always sending a lead is a value add. I think a lot of agents don't understand how valuable it is to have a lender to just do the basic GP, take care of your lead, right? Follow up with them, make sure that they have a plan if they're not ready moving forward, right? I think there's value in that. Just making sure whatever lead you send me, I'm making sure they're thoroughly ready, whatever step that is, right? 6 months to a year, 2 years, right? But creating a plan with them, also having follow-up. But just having the value that providing value that I'm gonna close a deal, right? Because that's one thing that I think agents skip over. Can we get the deal done first before you even think about sending me a lead, right?
You know what, let me hold up real quick. So it's because we give out, so many leads, and then then we talk to another agent, they go, oh, such and such sent me like 3 deals.
No, I was gonna finish.
I was gonna finish them. Yeah, that's kind of like what we get upset about.
Yeah. For me though, my value add isn't just the lead. So what I was gonna say is, number one, I'm gonna make sure we get to the closing table, and I'm gonna make sure that that deal that we close together is gonna be like our own family tree, right? So I'm always gonna be asking them, right, following up, hey, do you have anybody else that can, that we can get going? I can get you going with the leader, right? Well, so that's our family tree that we're gonna grow from that one lead that
like that
you sent me, right? Second is my value add is not always sending leads. I'm gonna help us get leads, right? So I have some dope connections. The lady from Cal Halfa, black lady, Natasha, and man,
yeah.
we just did a home buyer seminar, over 100, 120, 130 signups, 80 attended. I got 4 pre-approved, 2 were shopping, right? And this is for another agent. And so there's other things like circle dialing, right? But I think that the transactional part of it, yes, sending leads is important, but I think also helping agents get leads is just as important as well.
Yeah, and most loan officers do not.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. If I will do photos, right? If you're gonna work together, I will do your listing videos if we're gonna work together. I will do social media content with you if we're gonna work together. But a lot of agents, again, they don't realize the prize when they see it. But it's all good.
Okay, so not mentioning no names. Not mentioning no names. Have you ever had like an agent that you felt like just kind of used you to do that and didn't even really give you the business? Don't mention no names, but has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, for sure. I don't even remember who, but I know that it's happened quite a few times.
And how do you handle that?
Yeah, it is what it is.
Next time?
No, no, I will charge them, but most of the time I just like, whatever.
Yeah, okay.
On to the next.
Okay. So what I was gonna say, so Erika, do you have, I know both of you guys have, do you guys have people, without saying no names, try to recruit you all the time? I know I do. Do you get all those, and why do you guys stay with the companies you guys are at?
Thus far, I have more some.
Why would you say
Yes,
that?
I have had some. So yes, that's my answer. At this point, why am I staying where I'm at?
Fine.
I'm staying where I'm at because what I've learned being with All City in little under a year at this point has been invaluable. They being Roy and Serena, the brokers of the company, have added so much value to my business, down to like taking me by the hand to like do certain things step by step if need be. They're always available to me. I had a few instructors when I worked at Keller Williams, and I won't like me talking about naming any names,
Thank God to everybody know.
that I felt like were really like, I don't think this lady likes me very much.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
and
happened
I
a few times.
came home a couple times telling my husband, like, this person is not nice to me. And they were both in the leadership of the Keller that I was at. So I haven't felt that one single time, in addition to the fact that they actually have provided the best leads that I've had from any team, period. So they're also trying to elevate my business. I don't think that they are, and because I've also worked under brokers who are only worried about their personal production and say they're going to bring someone in, and I'm going to help you, I'm going to usher these to you, I'm going to do this, that, and the third, teach you my ways, mentor you, right? It has been a case, but with those two brokers that I'm working under now, they definitely walk their talk.
Yeah. Now this would kind of clear things up. We're not just saying Keller's, other companies where we get, as agents, get part of these companies and we feel like leadership isn't, it, so it's not just, that's just Keller and stuff. Just want to put that out there in case somebody from Keller get mad. But no, we're talking about
Oh yeah, sorry, this is not for everybody at Keller.
yeah. We ain't saying just Keller, but that was just experience that she had. But yeah, so it's that's and some people that who are at big brokerages, they've been with little brokerages and just did not get that, so that's why a lot of my, I got Justin over there at KW, he's doing great at KW, I got Jose and stuff like that, but they are personable and stuff, what I mean?
And you're mentoring them?
No, I just know them.
Oh, nice.
Just
Okay.
know Justin, Justin and Jose don't need no mentoring. Justin
I
Edwards,
know Justin.
Justin
Yeah.
Edwards,
You know that.
that's my boy, yeah. So I'm
He's
so
doing well.
oh my God, I'm just so proud of everything that he's doing and stuff, and yeah. So I just want to put that out there in case anybody get mad. No, that ain't what we're saying. All right. So what about you? Is people trying to recruit you too? And what makes you stay at Golden Bay?
So a scout told me, if you can't make money where you at, or if you can't get scouted from where you at, then you might need to reconsider things, right? So basically, if you can't make money where you're at, then then what are you doing, right? And so for me, it's like they taught me how to fish. I want to get to my goals first before I even consider going somewhere else, because the grass ain't always greener. I think a lot of times we got to look at ourselves and look at our own, what we're doing to make production happen. But I don't go to Golden Bay expecting to get leads. I go to, for mentorship, right? Because that's something I got to get on my own, right? And so I kind of expect, well, not kind of expect. So the reason why I do stay is because, again, I feel that I want to meet my goals first, of, my production goals, before I even, think about saying, hey, they're the reason why I'm not doing this production. They're not sending me leads, right? I want to make sure that wherever I go, I'm going to make money. So I like where I'm at. Yeah, and the mentorship is really good.
Yeah. And sometimes, it's not even about the money, it's about the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Most definitely, and everything.
Culture. Yeah.
So say okay, do you guys have a goal of like in like so many years or something to open up your own, like to get your own broker's license, open up your own, Robertson Realty and Loans, or
You can answer first.
I'm in the process of studying for my broker's test.
Get it, girl. Okay.
I already took all 8 other courses and passed. I'm just I already submitted all my stuff to the DRE. I'm just needing to study and like actually take the test, like pick a date.
Okay.
That's for me for a broker. Are you trying to get your broker?
No, I do not want to be a broker. I mean, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I just want the broker to negotiate more of my commission, right, with my current brokerage.
Mhm.
Uh, but for me, I have an exit strategy. I don't want to be in real estate closing loans and doing this forever. I want to get in a position like my uncle, right? My uncle owned his own brokerage, but he told me, he said, the only way you're going to be wealthy in this industry is doing for self. So he is his own investor. I just helped him try and finance a 42 unit apartment complex in Fresno.
Wow.
And so I want to go after that. I want freedom. I don't want to be, you know
Well,
what I'm
let me
saying?
let me
Yeah.
let me add a piece to that too, a caveat. Even with trying to get my broker's license like nowish before 2025 is over, that's not me jumping into a brokerage. I
Yeah,
probably
that usually doesn't happen.
start until 2030. And that's really on the real estate side. And I really like that for myself because I would like to have other Black women in the industry. That's more than anything what it is. We are, I think, together very much on the exit strategy of having investments, which we've already started.
Mhm.
So I think that we want to have the money to where we don't absolutely have to do it, but I would like to have that behind my name and start one eventually, but not in the near future at all. My foreseeable future is with All City, probably as a broker associate.
Yeah, Serena's a broker.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, so you guys, a lot of, a lot of people, in fact, during COVID, I took the course, I just need to take a state test, but there's a lot of people that have their broker license, but they choose to still stick with a brokerage underneath another broker.
It
So,
makes sense.
That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, just to negotiate more of my pay. That's it. You know.
And then in real estate, as you know, you get access to more resources as a broker. More things are allotted to you, more opportunities you can go after because some things, not everything, but some like the higher up, the more complex real estate transactions, if you will, some of those clients won't deal with you. You're not a broker, correct? So I'm just trying to get my name where it needs to be as far
have
as
you ran into that?
yeah, on the commercial side.
Oh, on the commercial side?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. And then that's another thing. So you do commercial lending.
I can. Yeah. Actually, someone just asked me about it this morning.
Well, you just did the that's commercial, the what you just did
Yeah.
for your family. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
good to know, y'all. So all y'all that's looking for investments over 4 units, y'all hit him up. Yeah. Because not too many brokers do commercial lending. They don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that's good. You talking about you say you just closed on one, right?
Well, I didn't close. I'm helping them trying to find some financing for the 42 unit.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, we're finding financing. But
That's
it's
good.
just
You help. Yeah.
if he wants to do it or not. But what I was saying was that's the kind of the side I want to be on.
Well, we have a client together that's looking for our CFE, and she would
What is
need
that? So people know.
like a
Residential care facility.
yeah,
Okay.
she's looking for one
That
of
doesn't
those.
have to be commercial.
Oh, I thought a non-QM was commercial.
No, non-QM just means so we're using a non-QM loan for her loan, but it's not a commercial. So non-QM just means not Fannie Freddie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, everybody wants to know, I have to ask Daniel this, where do you think the rates are going? Are they going to go up, down? What's going on? All around circle, what's going on? Everybody's like, are the rates going to drop?
Yeah, I was just while we were on here, I was pre-approving a client looking at the Cal Halfa rates. But based off what everybody's been saying, or actually, I looked today. There's a really good rate sheet. So, I mean, nationally, let's just look it up real quick. But I think they're going to be in a great spot here shortly.
And how long have you been doing loans again?
So I've been actually licensed 3.5 years, but like I said, during COVID, I got to touch over 200 loan files.
Yeah, the process, you was in a good position. And Erica, you've been licensed and doing real estate how long?
I've been licensed for 5 years, but active like the last 3.
So yeah, rates right now probably 6.5-ish for 30 year. But for conventional, I just priced out or I mean for FHA, I just priced out a down payment assistance loan, 6.3%. That person has a 700 FICO. So, you know, rates, FHA rates anywhere from 5.875 to 6, and then conventional probably like a little bit above that, 6.125 to 6.5.
Okay.
So yeah, it all depends on, but they're going down right now. They're going into a good spot. And so a lot of my pre-approved buyers, I'm calling them and saying, hey, rates are dropping, let's pull the trigger, you know, or people who are on the fence, I'm using this as a, hey, you know, rates are dropping, let's pull the trigger. So we had a really good rate sheet today. So I hope it continues.
Okay. Now you guys don't be talking about that's high still, because when I first started, rates were 9%. Okay. This 6 point is good. And don't be talking about like, oh, well, the price was different. Yeah, the price was different. So it all balances out. Eggs are high right now, but you can't refinance eggs. You could refinance a home.
I just did, so I do a home buyers workshop, right? And that's one of the things that I touch on. People who complain about interest rates, right? How much are you paying? How much interest are you paying on rent?
Hmm.
100%.
Yep. Or a car or something. Yeah.
Right. So you're paying 100% interest on rent. You're not getting any of that money back. Right. So even though someone who's paying 1,700, so over a 13-year period, most Californians have bought a home already. So even if you're paying $1,700 for a 3 bedroom still, times that over 13 years, you bought a home already. Right. And so there's called a break even point to where, hey, does it make sense to keep renting for this, right? With given inflation, right? Because you got to remember, when you buy a home, you combat inflation because your mortgage isn't going up, right? I mean, until you refinance or do something with your taxes or whatever, right? Then your tax rate goes up, or let's just say a natural disaster happens and your insurance goes up, right? How often does that happen?
Right.
But what I was saying is there's a break even point for those people who are really tripping about the interest rate. You got to look at this as a long-term investment. And if you're not even in that ballpark, we shouldn't even be having that conversation, right? So the people who are investing their money wisely, right, who are making good money, who are keeping up with their credit, right? When you're paying $2,300 for a 3 bedroom, and that same 3 bedroom could be $3,200 on a mortgage, right? Yes, it's more upfront, right? But we can get your down payment and closing costs covered. Yes, it's more upfront, but I'm pretty sure at a 5 to 6 year period, that's your break even point to where after that, you're going to be spending more money on rent than you are on a home.
Yeah.
So I do that presentation. I break down the rent versus, because all you have to also remember the tax benefits. You could write off your interest.
Yeah, exactly.
Money out there that can help you with the costs, and so many grants and so much money that probably wasn't there and prior to 2020. So there's a lot of extra money that could buy down your rate, or could pay your closing, could pay your down payment, that you wouldn't have to come out. So
exactly. Are you guys having, I'm having a lot of issues, like people just don't make enough to qualify. How are you guys handling that?
So what I like to do is I always ask them, hey, is there anyone that you know that you might be wanting to co-sign with, right? Because I bought my first house with my mom.
No.
We bought our first 2 houses together. And I think that's what it's going to take, more people on the application. Because I mean, who can make an extra 20 grand in a year to meet the income qualification, right? I mean, unless you're going to change careers and, you know, go after that, but who has time for all that, right? We're trying to buy a house now. So I would say the quickest thing is to find someone who can add some income to that. But yeah, I mean, it's something that you really have to be in position for. But there's really no way around the income thing.
yeah, Daniel has talked to here goes our other kid.
I know a lot of people think, you guys out there, a lot of people think, oh, I make, 3,000 a month and I got a $300, car payment, but it's a debt to ratio. They don't realize, oh, well, isn't, I know you guys get asked this, well, isn't there, down payment assistance programs? I was like, that's not got nothing to do with your debt to ratio.
At all. That's even worse for your calculations.
You really just can't afford the monthly, and that's where you go back, and Daniel will do a full plan. But sometimes if you need a second, a third, a fourth person to come in with
or oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Or I mean, depending on their job situation, I mean, you don't always need to own a home,
Mhm.
own a manufactured home, mobile home, right? There's other affordable options. But people ain't with that, you know. I've done in my 3 year span of being licensed, I've done two mobile home deals.
But
One
don't
be
they have to put more money down because it's not like a regular loan, so they need more
um
cash.
not necessarily. There's a it's so even the mobile financing world is so tricky now too. It's like
Y'all
I
hearing this? Come on, look, you about to get some calls probably. Go
yeah,
ahead.
no, so that's the best. I mean, that's the best way to get into a home. And plus, your first home is going to be the down payment to your dream home. So this person that I got into a mobile home, they're building equity, right? That's still equity that you're building. You can
Mhm.
rent it out when you move out and go to get your other home.
Mhm.
And they're cheaper, right? So even though we're talking about a down payment, we could get sellers credits to cover that closing costs, right? So I think
And you
uh
know, let's talk about that. Right
yeah,
now, you guys, this is like the best time, honestly, to get where sellers, the homes are sitting on the market a little bit longer to get those. If you guys wait until the rates drop and everybody, their mama, cousin, everybody's going out there and you
Sellers don't
got to
need
overbid on a home and nobody's giving seller credit because the market's so good, this is the time to buy. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Our client that we got closed 5 days before Christmas 2024 got a refund check back from title, and he was a VA buyer. So we were able, or I was able to negotiate no money down for the EMD, not one single dollar, all the way to getting the closing costs covered and a few things fixed in the house or on the home. And they still got a $1,200 refund check after everything was cleared. They had to put, I believe, about $22,000 down on the upfront for like the fees and what have you. But then after everything was calculated, there was a deficit and they got a check back. So he really did not spend anything other than I think $800 out of pocket for his home.
See, you guys, see? Now let me clear one thing up. A lot of people like, well, I'm VA, it's 100%. Okay, first of all, it's not 100% because you got to put down an earnest money deposit. You got to pay for inspections. So there's,
yeah,
you know, you guys please get with like, Daniel, a lender that's going to explain the whole process to you. There's no 100% because we're not going to take you shopping and then when we write the offer, we're going to ask you how much deposit you want to put. It's like, oh, I thought we didn't have to put no money down.
Right.
yeah, no.
That has to be negotiated. So let me throw that
Well, I
out
mean,
there.
so just to throw this out there, on VA loans, earnest money deposit is what's it called? It just has to be something about it could be $1.
I've done like 500 and stuff, but the seller, it's still up to the seller.
Up to the seller,
Yeah, yeah,
but it doesn't have to be the 1% that
right.
we, you know,
Oh,
so
nothing
yeah.
has to be 1% nowadays.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Mhm.
It's all negotiable. Seriously.
Everything's
Yeah,
negotiable.
these sellers and buyers were very understanding of the situation. And I think that they didn't want it. The motivation of the seller for this home in particular was they were trying to get it off. So they were willing to just kind of take a reasonable offer. Our offer was reasonable. We just don't want to put no money down. And they accepted. So
You see? Wow. Now, two more things. Do you guys, Erica, do you like suggest to people to buy like duplex and live in one side for the first one? Do you kind of like educate people on that?
I
And
sure do. I have had a few younger people who, like around our age, 30s, right, that have said if one of the first or second things is I always ask her, what's your motivation, right? What do you want? Why do you want to buy? People are like, I just want to get my dream house. I want to stay in, live in it from now to the day I'm, out of here. But I get some people like I want to earn money. I want to have, some investment in real estate specifically. So I always am going to tell somebody, hey, if you didn't know, it might be your scenario particularly, it might be easier to qualify for a single multifamily versus the single family because you can use your perceived rent for the other side on your actual application, things like that. That's always a shocker. They're always super shocked to hear that. And I have one couple or one, not even a couple, one single mother I'm helping trying to do that right now.
yeah,
As
see? Yeah, that's a smart, then they could buy the dream house and stuff, and they got the investment property and everything, so. And they can hire a property manager if they
Mhm.
want to deal with it, so. So is there any last minute, anything that you guys, how did you guys like this? Was it what you guys
Oh,
expect?
we
You
should
guys,
do
what
this
you want to
more.
talk about?
Thank you. This was our first, I guess this is our first, is it a podcast? What is it?
We live on Facebook, so
Oh, okay, Facebook. It's our first live like this.
Yeah, I think this is dope.
Cool.
I love the concept. I think you should keep it going.
I want to keep it going. And I wanted, when I saw you guys, like I said, even though I'm a realtor and stuff, we gotta appreciate others. And when I was like, you know what, they're a power couple. I love what you guys do. I love it, the way, number one, the way you guys, both of y'all post on Facebook, you know, you guys are always giving, information, videos and stuff, even though girl, Erica, I don't know Daniel could dance that good though. I saw his dance for his birthday and stuff.
He's been a dancer from high school. He danced
Hey,
in all
dancing
the,
for what?
he danced in all the,
Your birthday. What were you doing?
What's that for my birthday? What's my birthday?
You guys were out there. Did you do a dance for your birthday? You guys did.
Did I?
you do a lot of dances.
What did I do for my birthday?
You guys, you and like two other guys and stuff. It was around your birthday.
Oh,
Oh.
with your
I'm just
friend
messing with you.
and another guy.
Oh,
They were
yeah.
just, they call it boogie. They was just
That's
boogie.
all right. But you know what? That catches attention and stuff like that. Like, my lender dances too. Hey, you know what I mean? Is
Content purposes, you know how it is.
Yeah, and you guys do that, I'm gonna have to get some, lessons. I don't know if you guys do the TikTok. I need to get a little bit better and stuff.
I love TikTok. Love it, love it, love it. Look, can I say something really quick?
Go ahead, girlfriend.
Meeting you was really, really nice at the Galentine. I actually seen you a few times before that, just because obviously our industry is very small. But you really, really like embraced me there. I didn't know a lot of ladies there. I knew one lady who invited me, and that was it. I didn't even know Candace. I knew one lady who
Oh, you didn't
invited.
know Candace?
No, we just got to talking there. And then I actually reached out to you after the tour, the bus tour that we took, and you were so warm and welcoming to me. I just wanted to thank you for that. I really don't get a lot of that in our industry, which we really should switch that. But I feel like with you, it was very much so coming at it like, I'm gonna befriend this lady. And so I appreciate that.
I just remember me starting out 23 years ago. You know what I mean? And when I was I'm not gonna say the name, when I was at one brokerage, that leadership used to walk right past the new people and not speak. Most of the time maybe leadership had stuff on their mind and stuff, but anytime I saw somebody sitting there, I would go up and speak and say, hey, how's it going? You always want to acknowledge, especially new people who just got their license and stuff. You know what I mean? You want to make them feel comfortable. Just because your name isn't on the board, you matter too. That's just the way that I feel. And I keep it real with people. Daniel will tell you I keep it real. And that's and I think that's why I get along with so many people. But yeah, no, thank you for that, sis. Now you're my, oh, I didn't call you sis, I mean daughter.
I'll take either.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So so any last words? Shout out your contact information, how people can reach you, you know.
So yeah, my name again is Daniel Robertson, with Golden Bay Mortgage Group. I am I work as a broker, so we have a ton of different loan options. You can find me at DR the Mortgage Pro on Instagram and all my social handles. Be on the lookout. I have a home buyer workshop coming up in 2 days with Cal HFA. And we're going to be talking about how you can use Cal HFA along with another grant to literally come out of pocket no money. And you can also buy down your rate with some of that grant money. So would love to see you guys there. It's on the 6th from 6 p.m. to 7:15. Come through, ask all your questions, and yeah, be on the lookout for more content and information.
Sis. daughter?
My name is Erika Robertson. You guys can find me on Facebook under my name, Erika Robertson. It's Erika, last name Robertson. I am active on TikTok, same name, Erika Robertson. And then my IG is Erika Robertson RE. So at Erika Robertson RE. I'm also on Threads. I'm always frequenting social media. I also have a workshop, sorry, I could not get that word out, coming up with Daniel and with the tax preparer page. And
Oh,
we
yeah.
we're having that
Oh,
one
yeah.
on the
Okay.
20th of March.
Oh, and
Yeah.
March, what
Yeah.
day?
20th?
20th of March.
Oh, the 20th. What is that, like a weekday or weekend?
Yeah, it's a weekday, it's a Thursday. And so we'll do a virtual one as well. But that's our thing now. We're doing a lot of seminars, so I'm looking to get them out there, also partner. So Alita, let's talk.
Okay, most definitely. We got 48 views. People
What?
want.
I
Yeah.
would also like to partner with you too, but on some real estate stuff. So I will also reach out.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. You never know. You never know. You start your brokerage. I may come over there. Don't tell Roy.
Look,
Right.
just on some like I could use I think that you have a lot of direction in Sacramento and you have a lot of influence.
Yeah. Well, yeah, everybody's like, everyone. My friend who works for Fox 40, Rowena, she's like, Alita, you know everybody. That's from the music, real estate, just being out there and being the person,
Yeah.
personality that I am. And I'm just gonna say this real quick. I just been through, a lot in life, and I always thank God that I'm
Mhm.
not mean and I'm the
You
person.
don't look like what you've been through.
Exactly. And I don't act like, you know what I mean? Because you meet somebody, you're like, God, Lee, what? You know, and stuff. But yeah, so
You
I just
look cool, Alita. From the first time I met you, I was like, okay, yeah, we going. God, like I said, that day was so divine. Like me bumping into you and all the people we bumped into that day was just
yeah,
like a God wink. Was like, hey, you're in the right place.
exactly.
What
Yeah.
church you go to?
Huh?
You go to church?
Oh yeah, I just joined Macedonia.
Macedonia? Where that's at?
And North Sac is like 3 minutes from me. I used to belong to Genesis for years off of Meadowview.
Okay. We going to Midtown. So
Oh yeah, is that Boss or no?
Yeah, I guess it's affiliated with them.
is it?
I believe so. Bayside.
Oh yeah, Bayside.
No, they
Okay.
used to be. They split after the whole George Floyd thing.
Oh, okay.
Call it what it is, the murder. So
That's why they split.
yeah. So, hey, let's leave that off
Oh,
here.
okay. Yeah, but we don't want to go
Politics,
there.
yeah.
'Cause I
Oh my God. And what I was gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna be at Center of Praise on Thursday for Big Al's funeral. So,
That's where I was raised.
oh,
That's
Center of
Pastor
Praise,
Parnell, right?
huh?
That's Pastor Parnell, right?
I think so. Yeah. Big Al's funeral is gonna be there Thursday at 1. Yeah. So I'm gonna, me and him go way back and stuff. So, but anyhow, so
Yeah.
anything else y'all want to shout out? Anything? Nothing?
No, shout out you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you guys for taking the time and everything. I saw Daniel yawning too. I was at the dentist at 7 a.m. this morning. So
I'll be up at 4 a.m. every morning.
me too. I'll be praying, meditate. That's why people are like, you be up early. I gotta pray, meditate, post, positive stuff before I leave the house. Cause
Yeah.
when we walk out, we get attacked and stuff. So,
Right.
I mean, attacked like the devil's always trying
Yeah,
to.
no, that's what we said. Yeah,
Exactly. We know
heard you.
exactly what you're talking about.
I heard you.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Facebook people. Y'all think of, not attack like that, the devil for
Oh,
y'all
no,
non-church goers. No, I was kidding.
not only do I hear you, I'm listening.
Right. So, all right, we got to do this again. We got to have lunch. We got to do all that stuff. All right.
Oh, you right about
Thank you
that.
again.
So let's get that done sooner than later because this is dope.
All right. I'll see you guys later. Thank you again.
All right.
And I'll
Later.
send this recording to you guys.
Okay,
Sounds
sounds
good.
good.
All right. Bye.